Hello, welcome back to my curriculum design part 2. So, I am talking about how I create my curriculum design, and in the previous video we were talking about the need analysis, yeah? So it is useful, as I mentioned before, because it helped me to know how can I create a suitable curriculum based on their needs. Yeah. So now we can continue with the next part that is about pedagogical and instructional model. In this case, I write my instructional model that is constructivism and the instructional model that is Kolb's cycle, in which we have experience, reflect, contextualize, and apply. I decide to use constructivism because I consider that it's really important that my students can create their own knowledge based on their experience, based on what they are learning through the process, so they can construct their knowledge. And I think that this instructional model it can align in the best way with this pedagogical model. But in your case, that is the way you can, the best that you how do you feel if you feel more comfortable with cognitivism, behaviorism, or constructivism, you can create your curriculum based on that pedagogical model. That is not a problem. That is based on how you prefer to teach English in your classes. That is not a problem. Then we need to include the objectives and profile. And we know that for in every thing that we do, we need to create a general objective. As we can see here, we have to develop basic communicative competences in English at A1 level. That is my general objective. Obviously, we need to create also some specific, maybe 3 specific objectives, but I don't include in this part, but you know that you need to create, or maybe 4, 1 per each unit, because in my case, we have 4 units, so I have 4 specific objectives. Also, here we have the entry profile and the graduation profile. As you know, I am creating at A1 level a curriculum design. So for that is not necessary to have a previous knowledge, because they are going to learn from basic vocabulary, something like that. Also, they need motivation, they need to be positive, and they need to know some digital skills. I need all these things in order to start these classes. So maybe if you have a B1 level, you need to modify the entry profile. And also here we have the graduation profile that is based on the activities I use, based on their needs. For example, they want to communicate. So for that, their graduation profile is that the students can introduce themselves, they can give personal information, describe routines, talk about the past and the future, so all this information. Then we have the study plan. This is the most important part in our curriculum, because we are going to write what we are going to teach in each unit. For example, as I mentioned, I have 4 units. So here I have the study plan of what I am going to include in each unit. For example, here I have grammar, all the grammar rules that I am going to teach in this unit, as well as the vocabulary, for example, greetings, alphabet, number, that is the basic vocabulary that they need to know, and also the production. Don't forget that the production is something necessary in our students if they want to communicate. So always we need to include activities based on speaking, based on writing. They need to produce something. Yeah, we need to improve our receptive skill, but also we need to help our students to improve their productive skills. So in each unit, we need to include this. For example, here we have the second unit. That is another grammar. For example, in this case, simple present, the vocabulary, yeah, we have time expressions, but we also need to include production activities. Yeah, that is something that they need to improve. They need to, develop in a better way. Also, the unit number 3, that is another grammar that is based on food. Quantifier, how much, how many, food, and also the production part. And finally, that is unit number 4, that is also different grammar, that is the use of going to, the past simple, and also the vocabulary about parties, holiday, places, and the production, yeah? So here I am going to write all the grammar that they are going to read, all the vocabulary that they are going to learn, and how they are going to produce the language using all the content that we learned, yeah? Then we have the assessment. As you know, we have two kinds of assessment. The first one that is the formative, in which we have through class participation, oral presentation, pair activities. And in my case, this is going to have the 70% of their grades, the formative, how they interact in class, how they participate, how they help each other. Okay, then we have the summative. As you know, here we have the rubrics, questionnaires, exams, test. Yeah, and it has 30% of the grades. Yeah, you can modify also. Maybe you want to have a highest percentage of summative. That is not a problem. That is up to you. And the resources and accreditation. As I am an English teacher via online. So I have some resources. For example, I have Moodle, Zoom, flashcards, YouTube videos. Yeah, all the resources that I am going to use during all these units, and also the accreditation. What is this? What they need to have in order to pass this learning process of these 4 units. They need to have 70% of attendance and 70% of minimum grade in order to pass this level. So if they have less than this, that is kind of difficult for them. So we need to establish or set a specific percentage of attendance in minimum grade, and also give this information to students in order that they can approve successfully this level. So that was all about my curriculum design. I hope that you can enjoy it, and I hope that it could be useful for you. Maybe you can use some information in order to create. So I hope to see you again with another video, but thank you so much for this time.